5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The last word I heard was that this was a place for spoken word. A verbal visual gallery of lyrical works, each line designed to make your brains twerk. All said, some of them written, all spit into a mic check, 1, 2, shifting your points of perspective and adapting to your points of view. And as for me, I'm here to see that the job gets done. There's no fantasies of yellow brick roads and no time for chorus to run, because in my mind, each line should beat like a drum line from your heart to your mind, motivating your mouth to give shout outs and
rewind.
I said in my mind, each line should beat like a drum line from your heart to your mind, motivating your mouth to give shout outs and rewinds, and at the very least, each piece should brush stroke the canvas, leaving you high as a kite as if your hookah was laced with cannabis, transforming this place into a space where lovers of this art can demand this, and anything less than blessed that might touch the mic just might leave our crowds pissed. Welcome to the Wordplay Cafe, coming from Tbone's hot spot.
Yep.
Here in beautiful sunny Sarasota. This is our first go around here at Tbone's, and we are looking forward to many more. We're going to let tonight just kind of roll and do an open mic and bring some new stuff to the microphone we haven't delivered before. I'm joined this evening, as usual, by my lovely co-host, Daisy Reed.
Hey.
We are the dynamic spoken word couple known as Wordplay.
All right.
So we're going to go ahead and kick things off. Daisy, you want to say anything?
Yeah. Welcome. So happy to be here at Tbone's. This is an amazing spot. Wow! If you haven't been here yet, you have to come out. What's the address again?
2667.
2667 Mall Drive in Sarasota, Florida. You've got to come here. What are your hours, Tbone?
8 a.m. until.
We are here from 8 a.m. Well, Tbone is here from 8 a.m. until. Let me fix that. That's right. Device 1 and I are here every Tuesday evening from 8 till 10-ish. 10-ish, yes, 10-ish. Tonight, pretty much all the pieces I'll be doing are pieces that I might have done maybe once, but that's it. The majority of them I've never done, so this is
Nice. First time.
Yeah, this is first time at Tbone's, first time hearing everything that I'll be doing tonight between now and 10-ish. Let me see. I think you're doing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Device 1, same thing. He's done it maybe once. But for the most part, he has not done it at all. So we're all going to be getting a lot of new stuff tonight.
Nice.
If you're not here yet, make your way.
Get here.
Soon.
And be safe. Coming. Be safe coming.
I didn't say break any traffic laws. Yeah. I don't want you to say day 3 and device 1 said to hurry up. So, we want you to get here quick, but, do the speed limit at least, minimum. Yeah. So, if you would bring me that first piece right there, please, so I can go ahead and do my first piece. Thank you kindly. So as I posted on Facebook, because they're brand new, never been done, I'll be doing a lot of reading, except for the very last piece that I'll be doing tonight, which is how we close out Wordplay Cafe. Every week that we do it. NaPoMo, National Poetry Month, is the month of April. And the challenge every April is to write a piece every day. I've got most of the days. So the majority of my pieces tonight will be pieces that I wrote for National Poetry Month. So most of them don't have a title. It scares the hell out of me. I know it doesn't look like it, but it does. Calm exterior, riotous interior. It doesn't matter how often I've done it, but whether it's in front of strangers or family, the results are always the same. Just the thought of it quickens my pulse and my stomach gets queasy. Butterflies, they call it. Feels more like pterodactyls. And the closer it gets, the worse it gets. My heart beats so fast, I can feel it in my throat. I'm shaking like a leaf trapped in gale force winds. I'm practically panting, my mind goes blank and I want to throw up as I step to the mic. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you. And next up on the mic is my partner in rhyme.
I'll run with that.
His name is Michael Paragon, aka Device One. Yes, I gave him your government name.
All right.
Hey, everybody, come here, you talk.
Let's hear one more time for Daisy in that new piece. I never heard that one. Nick Pomo strikes again.
You didn't read it?
Reading it and hearing you do it is totally different. So yeah, that's a whole nother vibe. I'm gonna give you guys a healthy mix of some of the old stuff that I've done and some of the new stuff that I've never done and some of the stuff I might have done once. This is one of my personal favorites called The Fallen. Since I left the laptop, I'll go ahead and do this one off the top.
Good.
All right. I cried out for help already, and apparently not a spoken word was heard. All of the signs were there, and each of them was well lit. It was quite the sight to see for those predisposed and those who were tuned into it. But maybe, just maybe, if you had tried to listen, none of this shit would have happened at all.
Yeah.
They say ostrich heads hit deep in the sand can and pull or erase the painful landslides that a man's emotions can create. And it's a magnetic sinkhole that's taken hold of our friends, and it's a magnetic sinkhole that's already taken hold of those close enough to be called my friends and those genetically doomed to be called my family. And they tend to lend a special name to this particular brand of insanity, but once the smoke clears, the loudest question to echo after me will be, was this what God planned?
No.
Because I saw the same bright lights that should have led me to more than a 72-point double-spaced headline and a video gone viral. Those lights lit a one-way path that called louder to me than anyone who ever claimed to love me. Those lights lit abscessed cavities filled with blood-red memories that walked and talked 180 degrees to the love they said I'd find. But in my mind, it was all or nothing that gets taken or left behind. And no one chose to disclose the downside of dark thoughts. And so now, amid a sea of burnt-out lights whose nights will never end, there's a place for me. There's a space for me amongst the calling, amongst the fallen. And so like Icarus, I fell. You watched me. You watched me coming up a bright and promising star, but the melanin of this chocolate skin hid those tears that flowed like the sticks. And each devilish deed only managed to succeed in planting a seed of regret, and each begat the next brick that built a wall so thick you couldn't go around, you couldn't go over, and you most definitely couldn't go through it, because sometimes, y'all, sticks and stones, they break more than just bones. Sometimes they break hearts, sometimes they break lives, sometimes they break families and homes. And when love turns to pain, we tend to refrain from other options, right? Because love's supposed to be that come-all, end-all emotion that compels us all. But what happens when the love must suffer and bleed? I mean, what if your all was less than the need? Tell me, where do you draw the finish line when your jog becomes a race amongst runners who aren't racing? I said, where do you draw the finish line when your jog becomes a race amongst runners who aren't racing? And how do you find your way back to the beginning when the best use for all those steps it took to get there is in erasing? Sometimes we can turn around those weapons on those who attack, and instead of burying the knife in the hand that you feel in your back, because both of us know that this can't go on. This shit has got to stop. And so I fell. But maybe it was my tone. I cried out for help already. Apparently, not a spoken word was heard. All of the signs were there, and each of them was well lit. It was quite the sight to see for those predisposed and those who were tuned into it. But maybe, just maybe, if you tried to listen, none of this shit would have happened at all.
All right.
Hot to death.
Sometimes we tend to operate in a world where we're like individual islands amongst ourselves, our own issues and things going on, and you just think no one can relate, no one can plug in, and you just do your do. And then you watch the people around you.
Can you go through a few more lines in the first beginning, because We're all, oh, look who's here, celebrity.
Hey, we got other celebs in the house. All right, all right.
No, we're all taught that,
Hey.
we're all taught. We're all taught that what is seen is temporary. What cannot be seen is invisible. It's invisible. And a lot of what you said really is
Remember my son.
Hey, you look nice. I like you all dressed up. Good, how are you?
She wants me to do a rewind all week. I love it.
Please say it. I'll knock you out.
That's some kind of lotion or something.
Well, we
All right.
I'll
I'll do it again before.
You have some.
time.
He said before we leave.
Don, we're gonna put you out. We're gonna get put out.
He said before he leaves, so do
You
it
got
again.
some like margarita, coconut rum, Mount
All
Island.
right.
No, because it's accurate.
Are you
It's
right?
accurate. It's physical time. It's very accurate.
He doesn't have to.
Oh, I got
See
it.
it.
You don't know what to do. You're like,
It's all up here.
what?
Oh, my goodness. All up here?
I'll do a short one. I'll do a short one and then.
Well, one more, because that's more important than the hip hop.
Oh, yeah, no
You
choice.
better get
We
it.
got a few more coming. May I have your attention, please?
Yes, please, please.
May I have your attention, please?
Yeah, you got that like Will Smith and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Can you do like the dance stuff?
May I have your attention, please?
Okay, not party time.
We're not.
We're doing some stuff going on.
May I have your attention, please?
Thank you.
This is a maiden voyage, and unlike the Titanic, isn't guaranteed to return from rough seas. And as rough seas tend to rise and fall, we poets are summoned by the siren's call with those who would dare to part their lips, with those who would care to share their gifts, with those who came to exchange their pain, with those of you who have managed to press your way through, and now you are now made a witness. Both the message and the messenger filled with the new deliverance, externally the same and slightly changed within your inner self. Your newfound wealth is best measured by your knowledge of your newfound self. But in these words, we have found power and peace and memories of loves that will never cease, and visions of freedom from pain and oppression that will forever remain within our brain's internal impression. So how could we possibly keep this on the inside, huh? When the very gift of spoken word is so very alive, huh? And all I can ask is that you all ask yourselves the same. Now, will you leave here tonight psychologically the same way that you came, or will you allow these words to connect inside, protecting from the iceberg that was separating your mind, rejecting the madness that your so-called friends supply? Because if we are all vessels on the sea of spoken word, they say all ships in the same waters are lifted by the same rising tide.
Thank you.
Very welcome back up to the stage, back up to the mic. My partner in rhyme, Daisy.
Go ahead, Dave.
Hello again, hello again, hello again. I'm loving this already. We always had to announce, spoken word isn't just about sitting there and listening and, clapping at the end. If something resonates with you, let us know. If you want to hear it again, Dawn, if you want to hear something again, rewind. You got that? You got that, Dawn?
Rewind.
If you want to hear something again, just say rewind. Okay? Like I said before, everything that I'm doing is completely brand new. My partner in rhyme hasn't even heard any of these. He's read them, but he hasn't heard any of them. And he's got this thing with hearing things. I'm good and I'm good, but not anyway. These two are also from April for National Poetry Writing Month. One is not long, but the other is kind of short. After which we'll take just a tiny little break. Listen to a little music, get on a little groove on for a little bit. Again, these are untitled. He does everything he knows to do. As a husband, as a father, and still she complains. Raised without his father, by a woman raised without her father, he's determined to break the cycle. but she makes it so hard. Especially now with her so-called best friend around. Here for her, watching him. Offering a sympathetic ear, you know, I'm here for you if you need me.
You. Yeah.
With the way things are going at home, it could be so easy. And he can't say he hasn't thought about it, but the consolation prize wouldn't be worth it. He knows how it goes. He's seen it firsthand. Instead of the wife's best friend, it was a coworker. Always willing to listen, always there with advice, giving the female point of view, you know. Too young to really understand at the time, he remembers the overheard conversations. His mother to her friend, his father to his mother, his father to the coworker, now girlfriend. By the time he understood, his father was gone and his mother cried. He's determined to break the cycle. He's determined to be there for his wife, for his children, for himself. Thank you.
That's a different point of view. Different point of view. Love it. Love it. You guys have been down with so much stuff. So much angst in here. Yeah,
I guess I should have warned y'all when I first came up here. I should, okay, let me, okay. A lot of people I know, they have really happy and
I know that too.
uplifting.
Everybody just works with
Me, not so much.
Girl,
You know,
you booked her
most
up.
of my stuff is, I wouldn't say unhappy, but it's not flowers and rainbows.
But it's the real deal.
You know, some poet friends of ours said to me, but you're not an angry person. And I said, you know, it's probably because I get it all out on paper, so I'm not holding it all inside so I can, you know, be the me I want to be. This piece is kind of short, again, from National Poetry Writing Month. He was feeling the squeeze. The pressure was on, but he wasn't ready. He knew now that he'd gotten too comfortable. He fully believed he would be staying. But could you blame him? He'd been there for such a long time, it felt permanent. Then with no preamble, he's being evicted, pushed out if you will, and they wouldn't let up. At first it wasn't too bad, child's play, lightweight stuff. But as time passed, slowly but surely, the pressure increased, until he had no choice but to get out. So as they squeezed tighter and the light got brighter, he left kicking and screaming into the world. Birth.
Nice.
You guys are so talented.
Okay, so on that note, I'm gonna take a little break. You can handle it. Then we're gonna come back. We'll take a little break.
Oh, yeah.
Then we're gonna come back.
We're gonna take a little music break and then come back.
Yeah, just turn it on.
He memorizes most of the
Press that
stuff.
button.
This is all brand new. This is all brand new, so.
I love you enough to say that you believe.
All you said was that you were having some dreams. Beyond that, nothing else matters.
out of the hospital, she might have, Kelly lets her have a boy over. They're sitting out on the couch watching a movie, Kelly's watching television. 9 o'clock, she gets up and zooms in. All right, Mom. John's gonna go home. Miss Kelly takes him up, closes Kelly in. She's on fix it. Kelly goes to the bedroom. She's listening. They're walking across the floor. There's a door open. Plays around the kitchen for a little bit, then goes to her room, leaves the red door cracked a bit. Come up. So I'm just checking the door and make sure we're all locked out. Hey, everybody's gone? Hey, everybody's gone. That boy stands behind the bed. Do you hear me? That's okay.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
We can't even stop. We have to move to the But I also know that the Jews were disinherited because they refused to
Well, I think she wasn't aware. I'm not sure. Well, yeah, we went into what do you call it? Like Friday during the day, I'm on
Once I'm in the class,
I need to write that stuff down.
It always makes fun.
Gary knows, he's always saying, oh my God. I was married, what's the brother? I was married, I'm just 64 years old. I gotta have somebody like that. Cam, give me your. Oh, I know. Okay, I'm never coming back. You have seen everything. You have seen everything. So don't even go there.
let's people get a minute.
So like, if you want to like learn how to play piano or sing classically and stuff like that, like that's how it is. Like they don't do any like studio engineering or stuff like that. Yeah, but they just get like regular.
I worked on it for 56 years.
It's not like it's not like
You're young, 56, very young.
I've known them. I've known them. They've known me.
New York man.
Renault, that kid did too.
You have three. This is what I'm flying. I like it to fly.
Dude, let's slide.
That's kind of old. That's before my time. No, it's not. Here we go, baby. Can you play some newer stuff? Because this is kind of old.
Yeah, play some newer stuff.
Thank you.
Riding slow. I'll think you can play Riding Slow. Play some old stuff.
Oh, I like it, Daddy. You said just like it. He said like it. He said just
Come on, I'm riding slow. You gotta put it up on your phone. I'm riding slow. You heard that song before? You heard that one?
I like what you were playing earlier, Minister. He said sometimes we add.
No, I don't know that song.
Riding slow.
Look, there's young energy up in here. Look at these young people. They are celebrities. We got celebrities up in here now. We got celebrities up in here. I ain't playing. I know, a celebrity. Come on now.
Oh, I like this song. Here, dance this.
Sounds like 70s music.
Oh,
I know. Curtis, Matt.
oh my gosh, Christina Aguilera.
That'll be the last musical intro.
Oh my gosh, she's trying to educate us. Oh my God.
Blew your head off. Blew your whole cranium off.
He's trying to educate us. Oh my God.
You didn't know where she got that beat.
Oh my God, he canceled it.
That's what happened.
My whole life is over.
Christina blew that head off.
No, she didn't.
Just blew her head off.
The song is
Oh, that's great.
What you don't know that hurts you.
And what she don't even know what she don't know. That's the problem.
What you don't know that you don't
When
know.
you try something, that's happy to speak into it's definitely what I said. Well, he was do you want 25%? Let me come over the house. I told her, you cannot have, and I never put it. They were going to move like 10 o'clock at night. Why are you mad? I said, you go, why are you sleeping here? I was like, I looked at nobody on the couch, whatever. She was walking in. I said, where the hell you been? She left out in the parking lot in the car for Stephanie. I don't think it's a problem. I said, well, that's the problem. I think you don't even know what the damn problem is. In our parking lot. Listen, I don't have any problem. At least I know how to do it, bro. I better have to walk in your bedroom right now, but you have a little more to say. How did you be like, work hard so you get a aren't you here? She can't talk. Bring me out there straight. Rack. Look, she got a great smile. Yeah, great. Yes, see, we got me out of
Look out. Music is over.
Let's roll. Well, we gotta go. I gotta do a shower. We ain't got nowhere to be. I'm man, and now.
She said I make her sick.
Who says what? Oh, he's reading the book.
She said I make her sick. I told her she was always like that. She just chose to make me the reason. That throughout every season of this off again, on again love thing, she'd bring this phrase back like a Tupac side. And I've never been one to sit back and just, I've never been one to just sit back and ignore the writing on the wall, because I prefer to collect my thoughts before making any kind of comments at all, because love's supposed to last forever. And life's too short, right? Mm-hmm. Plus, once those words are free, you know. But somewhere inside, something just couldn't rest, and so we'd fight and break up and make up and fuck our apologies through one another's bodies until the obvious was obvious. We just can't live without each other.
Rewind.
I
love you, girl. Rewind.
But somewhere inside, something couldn't rest, and we'd fight and we'd break up and make up and fuck our apologies through one another's bodies until the obvious was obvious.
That's right.
We just can't live without each other. But maybe making love was her way of waging war. I mean, what other strategy could there be that would leave me so helpless and weak in the knees like some 175-pound rat hooked on that good-ass government cheese? And she was always extra willing to please, but so was I. And in more ways than days to the 31st of forever, she never left our bed without a smile. Or the living room. Or the kitchen. Remember that one time we almost burned up the grits? And at first it was just casual until we became the first casualty. Victims of this friendly fire, our love got us higher than that good-ass Jamaican shit. We puff past each hit, and in bed we just kiss and hit. But instead of just sticking and moving, we just let this love get thick. But now I'll make her ass sick.
No.
Oh, I really don't know if this made things any better, but I made a list of things that I loved about her, and it turned into a 4-page letter. And through tear-filled eyes, she read all that I wrote, and my heart poured out all of my bottled-up emotions in a flash flood of third-person quotes. Because when you come face-to-face with something so much deeper, somehow deeper than love, I mean, what do? What do you say?
You accept it.
How can you respond to something so new to you that when truth be told, it leaves you feeling some kind of way? Like maybe human-powered flight might be possible. Like forever was just tomorrow plus one day. Like love was that second cousin twice removed from lust, but she's always been that way. And I know in time, things can't possibly get any better, because through those tear-filled eyes, she managed to memorize that 4-page letter. But that was my modus. That was my plan. That was my trick. That was my means of waging war, was to ensure that she remained lovesick.
I
think I've done that twice. Yeah, that's why I still on the
You guys are awesome. I wish I was showered and not like beach ridden.
It was. You guys take care.
Thanks. Glad you come through.
Bye, Pappy.
Fine.
That's it.
Every once in a while, you know, most of my stuff is kind of heartfelt, kind of deepish. Not so much dark, but it'll connect sometimes. I had a piece. This next piece I'm going to do here. Ignore all that. Let's. No, the piece that I've got here is the piece that I was telling you guys about just now. I've been bookmarking stuff throughout this book all day, so this is another one of these pieces, though. Because most of the stuff that I write about, hey, it's stuff that I can relate to. It's stuff that I may have been through. Sometimes it's just some things that you heard about and kind of plucks a nerve, so you commence to write. Your muse kicks in and you do what you do. This is one of those pieces. I call this Too Much Love.
Is there such a thing?
Absolutely. Maybe this was something both of us wanted, but neither one of us was ready to handle. And now I love you too much to keep hating myself for all the bullshit I let you put me through. Because I had just begun to remember my dreams again. Those full nights stolen by overfilled days, and in more ways than I could maneuver, my workload seemed to implode and impede the sleep that I need to carry these dreams from can't see to can't see. But these dreams had managed to stay the course. And from course to find, the memory in my mind grew clearer. What began as a reflection of myself in my own mental mirror slowly transformed into her physical form, because she embodied the love for me that I felt for myself. And I would give her my heart like I had never, ever given it to anyone else. And that's the balance that's created when true love has met its equal. It can't be forewarned of in some prequel or followed after with some sorry-ass sequel. And like all those headless Highlander movies would boast, there can be only one. And we two had become one. So how could one be too much? How unnerving that kiss, how abrasive that touch. But when love is at risk, we oftentimes miss the most obvious of signs on purpose. And while a life without love may seem worthless, the only route to the real root of the truth must lie beneath the surface. So you've got to dig deeper. Dig deeper than the 13 years of love, sweat, and tears that began with an I do and ended in multiple fuck yous at the drop of a hat. Dig deeper than that cross-country love affair that was only working because she wasn't there to catch you playing the field like you was all that. Dig deeper than those nights you spent with her waiting for the birth of another man's child you both knew wasn't yours, but you still loved her without any slack. Dig deeper than her screaming your name across the parking lot at 3:13 a.m. as you walked out of her life and you never looked back. Dig deeper than that first who let you burst in her mouth because you liked that little thing that she did with her tongue where she spit it all out on you and called it gross and scarred you for life. Because I still love you too much to keep hating myself for all that bullshit I allowed you to put me through. And now my physical form stands neither lost nor forlorn at the long list of love's campaigns, and it's whitewashed in the bright light of love, but the dark shadows of this pain still remains. And now I see those dreams, like hot water rapids and ice cold streams, flowing through me like mad whipped horse teams, pulling you out of my heart where you were truly, madly, deeply loved.
So what you mean, man? What you trying to say? Hey, we got our first Wordplay Cafe participant, I think.
Are you going to be joining us on the mic?
Yeah, wait, when he's right.
That was so good.
I've been waiting on Miss Wright too, but then I found her.
That's very good. You might get hurt. See, we don't want to be witnessing saying things. All on tape. All on tape. It's on YouTube. Oh, God, it's on YouTube. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Then you have the whole World Wide Web is doing this.
I thought I said
Not good.
help me once again welcome Desiree on up.
Desiree. This thing won't give me the link tonight to save my life, man.
Oh, all right, no pressure, no pressure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, Desiree.
Hey, what's up, Lepcha? Frappuccino.
When I wrote this piece, I was supposed to be looking for something else, and as I was searching for it, my muse decided that I wasn't looking for anything that I needed to write. And I pretty much wrote this in about 10-15 minutes.
That's okay.
Which is down to first. My father was rarely there.
Sorry.
My father was rarely there. That there were times when I almost forgot what he looked like as a child. I hated him. He'd show up around Christmas and maybe a few other times throughout the year, and the visits were short. But he'd come along, throwing his weight around like he was running things.
Yeah.
I don't remember him ever spending any time with us kids or taking us anywhere. Well, except that one time when he took us over to the new girlfriend's house to show off his well-behaved kids, like he had something to do with that.
Wow.
Leaving us girls to navigate the minefields of male-female relationships, sex too early with boys who considered you a conquest, just another notch on his dipstick. And no matter how much more we wanted, we settled for so much less than we needed from a male, only to realize later that we had no clue, and we still don't. We still struggle to figure this man, woman, husband, wife, male, female thing out, then pass it on to our daughters and our sons. Because their father isn't here either. I wish I could say he comes around ever so infrequently, but they almost forget what he looks like, but that would be a lie, because he doesn't come around. And I have to wonder which is worse. Knowing who the man is and having him pop up every now and then, to not spend any time there with you, not have any conversations with you, but tries to act like he's in charge, or just not be around. As we attempt to keep our sons and daughters from hating their fathers, failing miserably, because in our ignorant youth we didn't choose. We laid down with him because he said the right things, because he kinda did the right things, and he made us feel what we thought were the right things, only to learn years later that we had absolutely no idea what we were doing. And whether we meant to do it or not, our children have a father just like our father, and they hate him. But how can we fix this? Bragging about the number of kids you have is not make you a man. Behaving like the dog so many women compare you to when you're supposed to be better, supposed to at least know better. How can you let a bird do better than you? You're supposed to protect your offspring. You're supposed to ensure they at least survive childhood and adolescence. And you know, bragging about how good your man is in bed does not make you a woman. Dressing in such a way that leaves nothing to the imagination, behaving no better than the bitch in heat. We're supposed to be the nurturers, providing a soft place for our children to land instead of coming home to more chaos and more confusion. What happened to us? And how can we make it better? How can we fix this? Thank you. You know, I didn't think about twerking. I might work that in. We'll see with the rewrite. This other piece actually has a title. It's entitled More Than. There was a picture on Facebook that I liked. So, you know, I like it, I share it to my page, and one of my poetry friends had an issue with it, and he said something to me about basically, you know, because I'm a poet, it's like I'm not supposed to have my own ideas and my own beliefs, and I just cut that conversation short. I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna get into this argument with you. We're gonna, all right, you're good.
I love this stuff. You know, it's universal. It appeals to it pertains, not appeals, pertains to. It's not restricted to race.
No, it's not.
It's not. I love that.
More than.
For real.
Before they decided to call me a poet, I was me. Daisery. The quiet, ugly girl who was picked on. Me. The girl with the short, nappy hair who was laughed at. Me. The tomboy who never quite fit in with any crowd. An enigma. They couldn't quite figure me out. Before they decided to call me a poet, I was me. Daisery. The bookworm stuck on Greek mythology and Freud. Me. That strange girl that they looked at weird. What did you say her major was? Agriculture? Went from being called a freshie to an Aggie, and it wasn't a compliment. But now that they call me a poet, I'm supposed to be the voice of the people. No longer an original with my own thoughts and beliefs. Suddenly I'm supposed to only say what's pleasing to the masses. Uncontroversial, non-confrontational. My life should be an open book of lies. Suddenly I'm a political, mind what you say, but my words speak of who I used to be. The past pain and hurt and tears, where I am, the newfound strength and determination and happiness, who I hope to be, grounded in my faith and loved and content. My words speak to those who have felt my pain, to those who are becoming stronger, to those who see a tomorrow. Before they decided to call me a poet, I was me, Daisery, and you couldn't see me. And now that I'm seen for more than my face, my hair, my body, I have just one thing to say. How you like me now?
How you like
All right. You all right? Okay. We have a poet in the house.
No?
Not yet?
No, we're y'all keep going.
Oh, she's here to support.
Oh,
waiting for
I
someone.
apologize. I misunderstood. I'm sorry.
I'm a singer. I back her up.
Oh, all right.
Oh, okay. Oh, looking forward to that. Wait, all right.
Thank you, man.
Okay, I apologize. I spoke a little bit out of turn. There is a piece that I just recently memorized.
What the hell is this book?
Yeah, well, I'm going to keep the book with me just in case I, get a little flummoxed and kind of lose my spot. This piece is entitled Make Love to Me, Not What You Think. I need you to make love to me. I need you to make love to me all day. I need you to make love to me all day, today, and every day for the rest of our lives. I need you to hold my hand as we walk down the aisle at the supermarket. I need you to touch me for no specific reason while we sit side by side in church. I need you to whisper in my ear, I love you at the most inappropriate times. I need you to massage my feet while we sit in front of the television. You watching your game and me while I'm reading a book. I need you to win me that stupid teddy bear at the county fair. I need you to dance with me to the music in our heads and the rhythm in our bodies in the middle of Main Street. I need you to rub my back while we stand in the ticket line at the theater. I need you to play with me, laugh with me, tickle me, be my forever playmate. I need you to make love to my mind, never forgetting how much I just love talking with you. I told you I'd have to cheat. I need you to remember that you are my heart, my lover, my best friend, my covering. I need you to hold me close, simply because you know how much I just love how it feels to be wrapped in your arms. I need you to tell me when I'm not quite myself, when I'm a little out of sorts, over the top. Okay, when I'm just acting crazy. I need you to kiss me soft and kiss me slow. I need you to remember that no one is perfect, but this is. I need you to hug me when you leave in the morning. I need you to hug me when you return. I need you to hold me while I sleep. But most of all, I need you to make love to me. I need you to make love to me all day. I need you to make love to me all day, today, and every day for the rest of our lives. Thank you. And next up on the mic is my partner in rhyme. Once again, device one.
Technical ages.
As he comes with his technical aid. After which, no, we'll break. After which, we'll take another little music break. Let's welcome device one.
And can I just say one thing? What you just read reminded me of B. Smith. You know about B. Smith? Okay, she's the black woman that plays on Canton and all. And she was just, yes, and she was just divulged as having,
Alzheimer's.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the love story between the couple.
God bless you.
And that was so beautiful what you said, because that's what they were talking about.
Wow.
That's what they were talking about, the love between the couple. And so you articulated it so beautifully, so beautifully. Nice to see that love.
Now we're going to get that sweet little taste out of your mouth.
Beautiful.
This is the piece that I was talking about earlier. The stuff that sometimes we poets kind of feel, we kind of channel, and it just comes out of nowhere. A lot of the stuff that I put pen to paper to is stuff that I can relate to. But I was riding one day and this shit pulled me over. I mean, I couldn't keep driving. And I don't know anybody in my life that this relates to. But I was pen struck. It's called Any Love. Rumors of abuse gave way to signs and proof that the truth can be stranger than fiction. And she's no stranger to the verbal contradiction, so don't think you're so fucking pretty. Oh, now you got all the sense in the world. You know, you're not the best I've ever had, but I guess I can love you. I love you. So saying 3 words that rang in her head. So you're almost free words that her daddy had said as he eased himself out of her and out of her bed. And since Mama never told her that pain wasn't a part of the deal, she came to accept the fact that all those trips to the emergency room, well, I was just proof that Daddy's love was real. I mean, after all, the swelling does go down. And the bleeding stops too. And hey, what the hell? It's just another tooth, right? And since Daddy never wore a suit, that brother with those well-polished shoes was just playing. Another dog trying to bone, you better leave them pretty boys alone and get a thug for some serious pipe laying, because a real man will defame you. And a real man will rename you, right, bitch? And if that attitude gets too close to rude, a real man will tame you, right? So all those hugs and kisses got mixed in with them hits and near misses, and what started as a bad day turned into a bad week, turned into a bad life. And what began as morally wrong turned into financially right, as she learned to turn them tricks all night, losing her soul with each stroll, because her definition of self-control meant that she would only cut deep enough to bleed. And that was enough to remind her that she was still alive. And if you ever locked stairs with her, you could see that the truth that she lived was still a fucking lie. But I mean, what the fuck can be said when the living dead won't die? And how long will this roller coaster ride go on before her safety bar slips and the razor blade dips deeper on purpose? You see, money can't buy you happiness, but just look at what love couldn't purchase. Because when parents turn predator, you better be ready to do all that you could. And it's so sad to say, but Mama didn't see it that way until Daddy closed her eyes for good. And when the state feels it's in your best interest to stay home alone with a monster, any way out will be the best route. But it was the news of her pregnancy that left no doubts. And so what once went round now goes from elbow to wrist. And the last question that dripped from her lips is, how could a God of any love have ever allowed a life like this? Everybody else have a drink and some coffee, bring our moves up a little bit. I kind of love that one and hate that one too. That's like the darkest thing I've ever heard.
It was. It was both.
I don't know. I don't take nothing from Satan.
It was both.
I'll be putting through my ass working though. If you need one, I got one.
No, he's the God of this world.
It was both.
Hey, somebody's phone is ringing.
Oh, that's nice. We're going to take another brief music break, and then we'll be back. Let's say about 10, let's say 3 songs.
All right.
Okay, I have to get outside. This is leaking.
Yeah, a little bit of both. Still got both.
Spoken word.
Oh, no, I still got them both. What you going through? I heard that in New Yes. I'm get angry. I'm talking to my family. Or Canadian over there. Regular, brown, regular.
That's good. But then it's like, what? It's not a good time, right? Yeah. We can go back to so you can do that. Thank you, sir.
That's a good drink, right?
Okay, fine.
That I got.
Yeah. But it's like,
That's all you're playing. It's just on 3 songs.
Sounds good. Oh, I have some on my laptop, but I've never shared it before.
Share it now.
Get my mouth shut.
Perfect match.
I gotta find it first. I haven't ever read it before a group of people.
Don't mind us, we're just like family.
Well, that's good. I feel like family when I come here. I'm here all the time. You can ask him. I'm like family, right? Like the doctor was talking about. I'm not kidding. I'm not joking. I'm like the florist to the flowers in my house.
Okay, you got a
The
lovely.
decorator to the candles I brought in. Yeah,
They're all out there in the universe.
That homie deal.
Yeah, it's a lovely story.
Been there?
On your morning mother to
All right.
Yep.
Let me see what I can
Yeah, I'm gonna shift gear a little bit.
It does bad. We gonna slow it down a little bit.
Alright, not too long.
Riding slow. I'm riding slow. I'm riding slow. I'm riding slow.
Come on, really? So who's not about that?
They don't have a radio version?
Oh,
Oh man, we gotta work on that.
Alright.
something else.
I might let it rip in a piece or two, but
Yeah, man, like wow. Wow.
Stop. You know what I'm saying? So we can get on. Now this is what we do. We playing the role of that sweet cherry. And we swinging down to pick you up. You know what I'm saying? Ride. For real. Now, it's like, you want to ride with me, you don't even know what ride is. Look, if you want to get clean, you want to get dirty, you want to go left, right, this is what we do.
Okay, you said reggae, right?
The reggae dawn is on a Saturday. So step
Leave the music on.
back. DJ Yogi.
Leave the music. Regular music. That's fine.
well, let me break.
Yes, I know.
My first boat ride, Mommy.
Don't act like it is.
I'm getting tutored on Friday. We are really close to that.
Let's Indian stand up. DJ.
Perfect. Hey. Cool runnings. We're gonna bring everything back, and since
Oh yeah, we're ready.
okay.
Oh yeah.
We did have another poet coming. She's still on her way. We kind of wanted to try and mix in a little of this.
Bless her travels.
Sorry, she had a little lost. She said she's 5 minutes away.
That's all right. We got just the thing for it. We do have another poet in the house. She doesn't like to admit it. She says she hasn't done anything in front of people. So she does her poetry.
Well, we
in front of
family
dogs.
then. So we family.
I haven't even I was revising it just now. I read it and I was like, oh, I haven't touched it in years.
So why don't we do it like this? I'll do a piece. You can do a piece. Daisy, you can do a piece. And hopefully within 5 minutes or so, Miss Right over here, and Miss Right can do a piece.
Women power.
You know what? I'm so comfortable around my queens, because you're all queens to me. Being the king that I am, I'm cool. Give me a couple minutes, let me see if I can put this thing together. This is the only musical piece that I've got. That I've got.
That you do.
Yeah.
What do you do to music?
You know what you mean.
I just want to be,
Precisely.
precise and correct in my speaking.
So we're gonna love it.
I hope so. 'Cause I tried to tell you it was the only one I had. How subtle can that be? Alright.
That's the sweet sound of a latte.
Got a good level on that. This, like I said, this is the only piece that I've done that's actually set to music of any kind. I don't know if I want to use this thing or not. Depends. I may let you finish your latte.
No, it's good now.
All right. Let's go there. Worst can happen. What's the worst can happen?
Oh, you never
Oh man. All right. Here we go.
You have energized the whole evening.
I was raised in a house that was filled with love and some tension. Though not quite perfect, though nothing man-made ever really is, but it was just enough for the life that I lived for me to lay down foundations. And I grew to understand that my every definition of a relationship began with trust and ended in some higher level of faith. And that anything less than that was less than a waste of my time and of my efforts and of my emotions. And not to mention the darkness that can form in those corners where seeds of light would need to fight in order to survive and bleed all night, but when life has to rise, we just do whatever needs to be done until the sun greets us again. And then We pick those bricks from the sticks and stones, letting our successes be the revenge on those who fail to break our bones. Let them be the ones who made us stronger than death till it takes life itself to take away our very breath. We had agreed to work this land together. Knowing that I would need her sensitivity and that she would need my strength, I gave her mine and she shared hers with me, captured within our hearts and exchanged ever so freely. But no one ever taught us how to work our way through the weeds. And through a lifetime of scattered opportunities, we both planted erratic seeds. But sometimes, what grows from the past in the darkest parts of your heart starts to erode in the present what your future truly needs. Because your parents can only show you how to love, but they argue amongst themselves behind their own closed doors, and that's what creates the void that eats you alive, and in 5, 4, 3, you two become separate ones. And just as what's lived is remembered, sometimes what's said can't be undone. And those weeds continue to grow. See, only things proven to do so in a vacuum. And it's the light and the love that's the first things consumed. Have you screaming across a sea of silence while you're side by side in the same bed, in the same room? But I was raised in a house that was filled with love and some tension. No, not quite perfect, though nothing man-made ever really was. But it was just enough for the life that I lived for me to lay down foundations. So maybe if I had seen more of the less than heavenly side of love that sometimes makes a grown man run, I would have learned that not everyone you give your heart to knows what the hell to do with it. Maybe I would have learned that love is a balance worth having in your life, but that the lack of it isn't a valid reason to die inside, because it's stronger than any truth and it's deeper than any lie. Maybe I would have learned that being the last man standing also means that sometimes you're going to be the first one to witness everyone else's love die. But I was raised in a home filled with love and some tension. No, not quite perfect, though nothing man-made ever really was. But it was just enough for the life I live, for me to lay down foundations. I got a new fan, yeah. I love it. Were you ready to share it? I barely have your money. I'm lying.
I know you said it. Oh, man. You were with the whole time. It's called Be Always Prepared. Learned that in an early age.
No, you should. Poetry.
I'll take it. She said we should.
Yeah.
She said we should.
Believe me, everything. The copyright.
She got no doubt. She said we should.
No, I said
I'll be on it. She said we should be on it.
Oh, yeah, right. No, you guys are beyond now. Come on.
One more time.
We're ready to get to a level we're ready for
Device One and I are part of the Tampa Bay Poetry Alliance. And we have workshops, I think twice a month. And in one of the workshops, they talked about writing from perspective. And the majority of what I write is based on a lot of personal stuff. Except this piece. Well, actually, this was the first piece that I wrote that was from someone else's perspective. How it kind of made sense in my head. Even reading it, I think it comes across from the other person's perspective pretty well. It's not about a happy topic, but then again, very few of my stuff is, so it's okay. This is the perspective of a young man. Let's say early to mid-teens. I mean, she gave me all the signs that she was ready. So I don't understand why I'm here. We've been messing around for like a month. My parents would say we're dating, but nah, we just kicking it. You know. We go to a movie or something sometimes, but most of the time we're parked back in the woods. My pops told me it's the girl's job to say no, and it's the man's job to persist. My uncle said, man, she gonna say no, but she really mean yes. They both say she has to say no so you won't think she easy, but she wants it as much as you do, maybe more. So why is she crying? I mean, everything's supposed to be cool, right? She said no, I persisted. She said no, and she didn't sound too convicted, so I went ahead and took it to the next level. I mean, that's what a man does, right? At least, that's what they told me. Now we're back on the road and she won't talk to me, won't even look at me. I thought everything was okay, but the tears on her face, they don't seem right. Now here I am, handcuffed, sitting in the back of this squad car, and I keep hearing rape. Who got raped? And why am I the one sitting here? I didn't rape nobody. Then I see her. She's crying again. She's pointing in my direction and nodding her head. Is she saying I raped her? Man, that ain't how it went down. She said no like she was supposed to, so I wouldn't think she was easy. I persisted because that's what the man does. She didn't fight. I didn't hurt her. She didn't scream. I didn't hit her. It wasn't like in the movie, you know, Players Club, when dude beat up the stripper and Ice Cube was like, well, I guess it don't mean no. So why am I sitting here? Now the cops are telling me my pops and my uncle were wrong. And because I listened to them, because I did what they told me I'm supposed to do, what a man is supposed to do, here I am, handcuffed, sitting in this squad car, on my way to jail. Why they lie to me like that? But I guess I did hurt her. Why else would she be crying? Thank you.
Oh, wow,
Cupid.
It kind of fit, you know? All right. So, the poet that we pretty much been biding our time for.
I think both you and you guys have done
has just arrived.
Come on.
To Device One and I, she is our phenomenal sister. She is not a stranger. She is our family. She is just, you know, when you can't even think of a good word to describe someone, because not that you don't have a mastery of the English language, but it's just, she's just so, oh my gosh.
Phenomenal.
You know, that, you know, phenomenal, great, wonderful just seem like, she aight. You know? But this sister right here, when she gets on this mic, you will understand exactly what, girl, don't even try to be modest. You know all that meant some. To us anyway. And she will be all that and then some once you hear her. Welcome my sister, our sister, to the mic. All the way from Canada. Gracious enough to come here for our reopening of Wordplay Cafe here at Tbone. Miss Wright.
He said he was waiting on Miss Wright. There she goes. Oh, okay.
All right. I think I'm going to give you guys something.
Whatever you want to give me.
Well, it has been New Night Tuesday.
Yeah, you're right about that. And I'm glad you got the memo about all black.
I didn't get that.
But we're all in the same.
It was a mental memo, so you didn't get it.
I'm gonna use a chair. See how to use it.
You don't have to come on down unless you want to. This young lady here, I have inducted into the Women Love Lyrics.
which is one of my, well, it is my company. She is the first lady on there. She sings. She has a gorgeous voice. If you guys will have her, I will have her to sing a couple pieces.
That would be nice.
Try to get her to come up with decent poetry.
You got her on YouTube, you know.
That's why we're here.
And this other mama right here, Veronica, was sitting over there and did not speak or anything, so let me embarrass her further. It's also up there and then just really
Wonderful.
Let's do every one. How about that? And then we can do something on
We
it.
got serious talent up in here.
Oh, okay. All right, go. Well, you know I don't really like tonight, so it's whatever you want to do. Go.
Get that oxygen in there, there you go.
Come on in.
Hey.
Whatever you want, whatever you need, anything you want, son, baby, how to let naturally, 'cause I'm every woman. It's all in me. It's all in me. I am woman. From dusty cream to charcoal bliss, I am miss. Not bitch, not whore, not shorty, not that baby. I am lady. My head is held high even when I'm broken hearted. I break necks, demand respect, and I would accept nothing less. You are looking at Mother Nature in the flesh. My tears rain down red rivers. My rage release tidal waves. My curse afterburst the nerve to the floor. I've seen more pain than any other I bore. I am the originator. I am the true creator. I carry life. I carry hope. And when all else fails, I endure hell so the heaven's gates may open for somebody else's soul. I am bold. I am fresh. I am new. I am Jezebel. Yes, she too. It is I who have cradled you beneath my sin in order to cure man of the blues. I am blues. Enticing wind as soft as rose petals to rush through hot steel metals in effort to soothe troubling times. I am wine. The wine that your Jesus churned from water. I am liquid heat. I am the devil's daughter. When scorned, my horns thrust forward, and with the rise of a brow and the curl of a lip, I have been known to crumble nations. I am girl. Playing amongst the rubbish, the carnage that man left behind with their strong hands. I am preacher's wife. Teaching that stop the violence doesn't mean quit fighting daily, not just in Sunday school. I am nurse, healing all my people's wounds, fixing what's ailing them. I am seamstress, I sew, I hem, I palm, I sing. I can cast a spell, secrets you can tell. Mix a special brew, put fire inside of you. Anytime you're feeling danger up there, believe I will appear. I am Mammy. It was my breast milk that fed master's children, made them strong enough to hang my own. We've been cursed. I tasted within the slits of our tongues as I watched the youth cause havoc of unimaginable proportion with disproportionate rights not properly earned and miseducated truths not properly learned, full of self-esteem yet lacking self. How can a true prophet make true progress? It's okay, because I'm a fighter, badly beaten but still in the ring. I am a warrior, born with one mission in life, and that is conquering. I am voodoo princess, hungering both vengeance and vegetables. I am organic. This inherited rose from deep within. It cannot be bought nor sold. I am bold. My ancestors adorn themselves in my sheets. That silence that you hear inside of it, you will find I am your heartbeat. I am me, I am we, I am she. You are sitting, listening because somewhere, some woman cared enough. Some woman shared enough. Our backs are strong and our hips are wide. We've been attacked 1,000 times and still we survive because I am woman. Epiphany. I'm feeling like the God in me can only be visible when I stop looking for God in the physical. You see this vehicle that I drive is not released. It's owned. It's an original. Yes, I do have a replicate. However, there's only one original. Hence the word original. Being audacious isn't something I play with. It's something I'm laced with. Garnet diamonds are a rarity. So my presence is a gift. And you, ladies and gentlemen, are welcome.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Associate of mine has started this Women of June scenario. So, being is that my birthday is this month, I've been trying to stay in that tone. Like I said, I have a company called Women Love Lyrics. Under Women Love Lyrics, I have a couple of movements. One's in the Soapbox Chronicles, but that's another day and another story. So, Women Love Lyrics is doing more so all my pieces that's dedicated to us as women, or I guess life through our eyes. I have the ability to see life through both sets of eyes. So this one is just more so focused on women. The next piece we're going to do is a very personal piece. I wrote it for a woman by the name of Wanaki Williams. It is called Nursery Crimes. Wanaki is serving 10 years in prison right now, and thus far not with her children. So for a crime I don't believe she committed. So with that. No, you ain't. It's in it's okay.
Getting it.
You coming through the Bible trying to find second kings. I feel you.
Oh, and not only did the rain attempt to stop me, but this summer cold kicked in, and I'm like, okay.
Oh, yeah, hello, neighbor.
I'm not season. It's like, okay, do I need Claritin? Am I learning something?
I hate it.
It's all right.
Sounds good.
Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird.
So what about my children? One, misjudgment gives you the right to misjudge me. Stripping my children of their parental needs. Was my crime really worth the long-term effects you set in motion? Now I'm praying to God, wishing and hoping. Stressing trials, day drinking heavily while plotting my child's fate in jail, and now my child's placed with an unfamiliar face. Just enjoy drugs, rape, mental and physical abuse. They're not used to this type of treatment, so sorrow's guilt made anger grow intense.
If that mockingbird don't sing, Mama's gonna buy you a diamond ring.
Intense. I meant this what the fuck is I stated. Any and everyone to touch a hair on your beautiful head is dead as the days count down. Revenge becomes sound. Days turn into months. Finally I touch down. Peace still not found. And wrath consumes me.
And if that diamond ring don't shine, Mama's gonna sing you a lullaby.
They love and they hate me for not protecting them from the monsters under the bed, in the closet, or sitting across from them at the dining room table. County jail made me unable, but
hush, little baby, don't you cry.
Everyone involved is going to die tonight. Fuck the witness who lied, sealed the deal. Fuck the jury who refused to see that I was for real. Fuck the judge that didn't overturn the verdict. Fuck the lawyer that didn't present the case as perfect. Fuck the doctor parents that didn't do their job. Fuck the social worker who allowed your soul to be robbed. 12 gauge buckshot span.
Hush, little baby, don't you cry.
Sweet dreams.
Tell the world about what you got going on. You know, this is going on YouTube right now.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Let everybody know what's going on.
Let everybody know what's going on.
Oh, no, never finished.
No, listen, I always finish. I come to listen sometimes. All right.
How did you get your name?
Oh, it's Miss Spice.
Miss Spice.
Let's
hear it in for Miss Spice and Miss Spice. Thank you so much. Yeah, you can come on. Oh, yes, you are. How long have you been waiting?
Who would know it's not finished? You just stop it.
Oh, you're just writing it now?
Well, I haven't looked at it in like over a year, and so I'm looking over it now, and it doesn't
Oh, so
sound-
you're rewriting.
Banana and strawberry.
I'll let someone read
What's
it.
her name again?
Oh, come on. She's gonna let one of us read
Did
it.
she just say that we're going to be heard by proxy? You are here with
You want the
family.
you want the
You're here with family. And,
We would know.
and
we
if
would
your
know the difference.
idea of family is a horrible thing, you're here with a good family. Because I understand that not everybody's experience with family is great, so you're here with a good, loving, accepting family.
Just do it. You want to see the original? You want to read the original? Or you want
We
me to
would
read
know the difference.
Which one are you more comfortable with, the original or the almost maybe kind of sort of rewrite? Which one are you more comfortable with?
Probably the newer one.
The almost maybe kind of sort of rewrite?
Yeah, because
Okay.
I tried to make it flow better, you know what I mean?
It flows how it flows. In case you haven't, let me see, you haven't been here that long, but has anything that I've done so far rhymed?
Really? Just do it.
No, I'm not a rhymey person. That stuff just doesn't.
That's a misconception, isn't it?
Exactly.
It has to rhyme.
You know, when I
This is
realized
not
that
up to the
stuff did
flow.
not have to rhyme, it didn't even have to have a certain, I was like, oh, I'm doing this. All right, and I'm sorry.
I'm a perfectionist. Like,
All right, well,
Get over that.
Oh,
What instrument do you play?
No, I said I'm a physician.
Oh, I thought you said you were a
Yeah.
musician.
Either your name or your stage name. We'll do a nom de plume.
No, we'll do. No, I got so many nicknames. Tbone calls me Doc when I'm here.
Okay, Doc it is. All right, let's welcome Doc.
Oh man, this is like raw.
It is okay. We love
You
Perfect.
He did his folding it like this.
Yes, that's perfect.
I love Dr. We bring the computer,
Okay,
laptop, the paper. I had napkins.
Roll shit on my arm.
Right.
So this is the edited version that I just edited because I wrote this when I was doing, like I'm a physician, and I wrote this when I was doing a rotation, and I felt like the doctor I was working under, because I was a med student at the time, like it was just about the money, just about like the here and the now.
That's right.
So, I don't know, and it was just like, it was a really hard time. Like, there's a lot of mean people in medicine. Like, people that just don't care. And I don't even, I haven't even titled this, like, it's just called Code 1 title, or type. So here we go. Alright, I'm gonna present this.
Hate and judge what you see, never asking who, why, or how, just trying to make money and stay afloat. Never caring or loving, just wanting more. Stop. Take time to sit back. Why do you do what you do? For prestige? For power? When all is said and done, your body in the grave. What will they say? He made a lot of money? She wore Armani? What truly matters in life? It appeared, scroll down here, bear with me.
It didn't scroll on itself?
No, it's not automatic. I'm old school. This is like 4 years old. Okay. What truly matters in life? Is it appearance and all that is superficial? The clothes, the car, the home, the most recent iPhone? What are you going to do to make a difference? So when you are in the grave, the dash between your dates will be remembered for the lives that were saved, the hearts that were softened, and the seeds that were sown.
Did you like it hear that?
Oh, I'd have to find it, but.
Did you let the physician hear that?
No, I would have gotten like it.
So you're done with all that?
to hear from you once again.
Okay.
Yes, before we bring this right up one more time to kind of sort of close us out.
All right.
I said kind of sort of because you know I've got to do that end piece.
All right. All right.
Well, okay.
You have another one?
Did you
You
have
think
to
so?
do that, or did you guys do your things from April?
I did most of mine. I did from April, yes, because pretty much everything,
They were fabulous.
all but one, was brand spanking new,
Listen,
never heard
The
before.
first 2 weeks, I think you and I were going toe for toe.
I think me and Reefer, me, you, and Reefer, and then he kind of petered out. I don't remember where I got to day 26 though. I worked that for all. I was shocked I got to 26. Okay. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for some backup, but yeah.
Alrighty, let us welcome back up to the mic my partner in the rhyme, Device One.
Thank you. This is me setting this premise up. 7 days I sat and watched the sun set in a weak attempt to temporarily forget what my heart wouldn't allow me to. And as my emotions conspired against me and my tears struggled to extinguish the fires within me, I realized that nothing and no one else mattered right then and right now. Because the plural had become singular. And it's an aching vacancy of her departure that proved to me that to her everything really was as important as my next breath. As my right hand embraced her left. As her flesh pressed into mine, as our bodies intertwined until that last post-orgasmic sigh left her chest. And in my mind, I see steam as the sunset kisses the horizon and nightfall invites me to dream again. But dream of what? There's no brown eyes calling out to me, inviting soft lips and sweet tongue. For the first time in a lifetime, I'm totally undone. And I know that she knows that I know that she's hurting too, because it's a special kind of connection that we've always had, and we probably always will too. And so there's no sense in my self-defense of displaying some type of hyped up bravado.
You'll never know though by his presentation.
Okay.
Because that part of me that she maintains is missing. And nothing and no one else can heal this shit. And just as sure as my worst enemy was that little dude from 3rd grade who used to jack me for my fruit cups, I wouldn't even want him to feel this shit, because skyscrapers built on poor foundations can only do 2 things well. It's amaze and fascinate the lovers of architecture and make headlines when they crash all to hell. And those twisted beams of love and struggle, mangled amidst the cementatious rubble, neither defy the laws of love nor teach them. They're the soon rusting reminders that sometimes love wears blinders, and for those of us who need that shit the most, sometimes it just don't reach them, because it's like that elevator car slowly rushing to the 123rd floor, because we're racing to the rooftops without the keys to the security room doors, and even though our steps are impaired, we continue to press on with our needs until we bleed upstairs. And as the sum of all fears is a zero net worth, we stare slack-jawed in awe at the curvature of Mother Earth. Those brown eyes did call to me. And I answered those soft lips and that sweet tongue. And as her left hand slipped from my right, I realized then that my world would soon become undone. Because skyscrapers built on poor foundations can only do 2 things well. That's amaze and fascinate the lovers of architecture and break hearts when we crash all to hell. And brown eyes remain brown through tears, as gravity did what gravity always does, reclaiming those things that our hearts had the nerve to ever claim to love. You see, the best laid plans and well-chosen materials must be selected with discerning eyes. For in the end, we're either the architects of our own successes or the architects of our own demise.
All right. Here come signs, babe.
Here he comes.
I'm
Here come signs.
Hey, you've been waiting for Miss Ray. You've been waiting for Miss Ray.
Oh, okay.
He mentioned that earlier. He was waiting for Miss Ray.
Yeah, I can't watch it either. I had to go and regurgitate, rejuvenate.
You got one more? While you're digging.
Hello.
Hey,
How you
sometimes
doing?
we have to do that.
Hi. How are you?
Tbone, Miss Right, Miss Right.
Okay, you guys should do it again, right? Ladies, I mean.
I even got up there.
Yeah.
What?
Yes, you missed
I
out.
gotta let me rewind.
Don't let us start. Don't let us
You missed out.
You're gonna have to look at your own.
Wow.
If you guys don't mind,
When you
and
disappear.
while Miss Wright is still looking, I'm gonna go ahead and borrow a piece from a poet who I really respect and admire, a young man by the name of Daniel Beatty. This is one of the pieces that really kind of inspired me as to my style and so forth. It's called Knock Knock. As a boy, I shared a game with my father. I played it every morning until I was 3. He would knock on my door and I would pretend to be asleep until he got right next to the bed and I would get up and jump into his arms. Good morning, Papa. And my papa, he would tell me that he loved me. We shared a game. Knock knock. Until that day when the knock never came. And my mama takes me on this ride past cornfields on this never-ending highway until we reach a place of high rusty gates. A confused little boy, I entered the building carried in my mama's arms. Knock knock. We reach a room of windows and brown faces, and behind one of those windows sits my father. I jump out of my mama's arms and run joyously towards my father, only to be confronted by this window. And I knock, knock, trying to break through the glass, trying to get to my father. I knock, knock as my mama pulls me away before my papa even says a word. And for years, he's never said a word. Until 25 years later, I write these words for the little boy in me who still awaits his papa's home. Papa, come home, because I miss you. I miss you waking me up in the morning and telling me that you love me. Papa, come home because there's things I don't know and I thought that you could answer and teach me. Like how to shave, how to dribble a ball, how to talk to a lady, how to walk like a man. Papa, come home because I decided a while back that I want to be just like you, but I'm beginning to forget who you are. And 25 years later, a little boy cries. And so I write these words and I try to heal and I try to father myself. And I dream of a father who says the things, the words that my father did not. Dear son, I'm sorry I never came home. For every lesson I failed to teach, hear these words. Shade in one direction to avoid irritation. Dribble the page with the brilliance of your ballpoint pen. Walk like a god and your goddess will come to you. No longer will I be there to knock on your door, so you must knock for yourself. Knock, knock down doors of racism and poverty that I could not. Knock, knock on doors of opportunity for the lost brilliance of the black men who fill these cells. Knock, knock with diligence for the sake of your children. Knock, knock for me, for as long as you are free, these prison walls cannot contain my spirit. The best parts of me still lives in you. Knock, knock with the knowledge that you are my son, but you are not my choices. Yes, we are our father's sons and daughters, but we are not their choices. For despite their absences, we are still here, still alive, still breathing with the power to change this world, one little boy and girl at a time. Knock, knock. Who's there? We are.
So I want you to know that I decided last week that I would definitely be in Southern Pride next year, and I think you should also be there. I think you should also, yes. Like, I think you should.
All right, thank you. I'll take the challenge.
I'm so serious. Like, that should definitely be your challenge.
Miss Wright said you should be there.
Okay. Enough said. Hey, they brought the gold back.
Yeah. They're faithful. Trustworthy.
All right.
I'm gonna do
How you doing, baby? How you doing?
They work together. Do we need another mic?
No. Probably. I still know you're supposed to but not forever.
I got it on tape.
That's one boy leaving, man. What's up, bro?
Still want to share. I got that same shirt.
That's a nice one. I like it.
Go for it. You can ask me Oh, okay. You're private, all right.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light was so brightly and the twilight gleaming, whose bright strike and bright stars through the perilous fight are the ramparts we watch, like the gallantly streaming, and the rocket raider, the bombarding in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say that star-spangled banner wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Play ball. I'm confused now. I'm confused.
We live above our means till it seems that the dreams of our ancestors fester and rot. Masters lynching, freedom slipping in and out of breath, and death voices tend to fade, and nowadays the stir echoes are all too seasoned. Our Malcolms are too few soldiers of war, our Martins are too busy politicking in a white society not meant for black hands, and a black woman treads on a chance to be anything other than just somebody's baby's mother. I pledge no allegiance to any flag that cannot rest comfortably on my dark shoulders, whose cotton came at the cost of my kin's servitude, whose bloody red stripes remind me of whelps whipped many moons ago, whose stars represent lands far and wide in a country where thousands have died in vain, faceless and without name. Having the pleas to bleed on the marble steps of the oppressors, having the lessons to leak on the urban streets of America. Lady Liberty's guilt, we carried her throughout my ancestors' dreams. The screams alone I heard through the corridors nightly, frightening how nooses cut loose, never really released from our necks. Ironic how sweat still burns, wounds long sealed, yet still unhealed. The thirst to survive fed the need to lead the lives of a further future. Dead criminals housed in marble monuments for living homeless sleep without tents. I see buildings that no bodies occupy, and I wonder why, after all the laughter and the calamity, I alone can hear the cries. Tearless, humble, destitute. Screams of the mute, not begging for a hand out, begging for a hand up to their feet where dignity and pride can meet. You know, that whole teacher man the fish theory. Then tired, broken, weary, we can still survive. Instead, we are force-fed lies, high blood pressure, cancer, and heart disease. The air has always taken care of the trees. It's natural reciprocation. Still, government assistance is not reparation. I'm crying out for equality where flesh and blood can need purpose and cause, reason and rationality. I like to torch and lead the revolution. Too proud these days for an underground railroad. Plus, we got weapons of mass destruction. 1, Channel 9, straight up 85 to CNN headquarters. Let's arm ourselves quickly. Knowledge is deadly, genocidal, suicidal. I intend to be America's next top item and adversary. Truth. Tsunami with the trail of tears, follow me. Set ablaze to the cotton fields, follow me. Cries and charge and chone Wall Street, follow me. Running amok until we find peace, follow me. Secrecy. We not intended to know better. It's not about working until you're too old to enjoy life. Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, that's what they declared. So why are we so scared to hold them to it? And I ain't the only one saying just do it. It's ours for the taking. Race is just a decoy. No matter your ethnicity, Asian, Dominican, European, Caucasian, or Jamaican, if you was born in this America, you was born into slavery. This melting pot boiled over the first equality many moons ago. Way before the horse, lady, liberty, lady, justice flooded their way into the history books. Before the need met the demand, they demanded our souls. And this is how it goes. From the moment you take your first breath, these are the steps. City, county, state, and federal. No family, no friends, just numeric entities. Identification numbers, social security numbers, docket numbers. Branded, USDA, you are and always were cattle. And what do we do with cattle? I ask you, man, cow disease has to be the reason why everybody out for stuff in this dog eat dog world. Hell, I ain't never ate no damn dog. Can't one either. I am my brother's keeper, my sister's too. What about you? What about you?
Feel Maya in the room.
You know what? I named my daughter after her, and I was actually in Carolina when she passed.
What? I'm feeling it. Thank you so much.
All right.
Wow.
That's right.
It was a pleasure.
Say anyway. First of all, before I do my closing piece, I want to thank Tbone and Patricia. I remember. Tbone and Patricia for allowing us to have Wordplay Cafe here at Tbone Tuesday nights, 8 to 10-ish. I also want to thank Doc, Miss Wright, and Miss Spice for gracing Wordplay Cafe microphone. Thank you so much. Wordplay Cafe is nothing without its participants. It is nothing without you. They say spoken word is a dying art. Her arteries are hardened, congestive heart failure, so she can no longer make it to the venue. She has COPD and emphysema, so even if she made it here, she couldn't spit. I heard she just collapsed. Somebody was performing CPR and the crowd was crying, "Please don't let her die. Who will tell our story? You can't let her die. Who will be our voice?" And I'm the paramedic. As I rushed towards spoken word, I grabbed my defibrillator. See, I was told she was unconscious and not breathing, quite dead by all accounts. And my job is to save the living and bring life back to the dead. But as I knelt by her side, I realized spoken word was not dead. Her heart was in V-fib, quivering within her chest, unable to regain her natural rhythm. So I bared her chest, prepared the paddles, and shot her heart back into rhythm. And a few seconds later, she gasped. So I stepped to the mic, bearing my soul, telling my story, one word at a time. Because spoken word is not dead, as was so evident tonight at Tbone's. As long as I, you, we can rhyme. Thank you so much for attending our first Wordplay Cafe at Tbone's. We were kind of under the radar for about a good 4 or 5 months. We are so happy to be back. Again, we will be here every Tuesday, 8 to 10-ish. So please remember to come out, bring a friend who brings a friend who brings a friend who brings a friend to Wordplay Cafe, where life is at its most expressive.
Word by word. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for coming out tonight to the Wordplay Cafe. It's a dream come true for me, and you know how dreams comes true you know, it means that you wake up from a slumber. That's why Wordplay. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming out. I'm sorry.
Awesome. Ooh, boy, we found some peoples.
Not helpful.
Thank you so much for making the trip. I appreciate it. Oh my God.
Prosperity. First one down.
That's right.
Oh, you got to support. Okay. Alright, well, I ain't missing natural anthem. I'll tell you, my place is truly there. That's now natural anthem. Games begin. Games begin. Alright, so let's communicate between this week and next week. This time, let me do my thing. I don't know, I couldn't get a link up tonight to save my life, but people will find it anyway.
Right?
I'm just saying go to, because you can't just go to Tbone's hotspot and then it's a live feed and get to it.
All right. Right.
Because you can watch it, yeah. Yeah, they can watch the fantasticness. Let me go ahead and shut it off. When we say something somebody ain't supposed to hear.
Did you drive from all the way to